Yes, a very good afternoon to all. We'll continue from where we left. The process of transcription was going on. Already we have completed in prokaryotes. A brief recap, and then we can move on to the next one, that is in eukaryotes. Now, first of all, the process of transcription. It's about preparation of any kind of RNA from using the information of DNA, that is termed as the transcription. Which enzyme is involved? Which enzyme is involved in the same? DNA dependent RNA polymerase. Correct. There are four possibilities, by the way. If I call this as a 1, 2, this is as a 3, this one as a 4. Which one is that? Which is helpful in transcription? क्या क्या आंसर सब आ रहे हैं? 4 कैसे आ सकता था भाई? Diksha gave the answer 4, which is wrong. Yes, number 2. DNA dependent RNA polymerase using information from DNA preparing RNA. What about the first one? Which is that one? It helps in which process? Which replication? DNA replication. Ahmad Waris. Correct. DNA replication. Do you know where the third one is used? Yes, Swati, right. Reverse transcription. Retroviruses. And fourth one is by those RNA viruses which are not retro. So they don't make DNA in between. That is about the 4 types of polymerases. Then we said that any type of RNA. So which are the types of RNA, by the way? First is which one? Messenger RNA. It acts as a template for translation, making the amino acid chain. If there is a DNA, from that RNA is prepared. That messenger RNA will come out, and as per its information, amino acids will be arranged. So it provides a template prepared from the concerned DNA. It carries the message from DNA for the process of protein synthesis. Second is the tRNA, transfer RNA. They bring the amino acids at the site of protein synthesis, that is on ribosome. And as per the codes, genetic codes, it arranges acids over there. That's the transfer RNA. Third category, rRNA, ribosomal RNA. In the constitution, structural constitution of ribosome, the one which is the machinery to synthesize protein. The protein synthesizing machinery is called ribosome, and that ribosome, in its constitution, the RNA, rRNA is required. Number two, it also plays the catalytic role. It is the one which will help in the bond formation between the amino acids. The bond formation between the amino acids, peptide bond formation between the amino acids in a polypeptide synthesis process. So these are the three different types of RNA and their roles in the system. Coming back to the process part, initiation, the one in which sigma factor binds to dash part of the gene. Which part of the gene where sigma factor along with RNA polymerase will bind? Promoter site of the helix. Will that be at a 3' side or 5' side of the template chain? टेम्पलेट चेन के कौन से पार्ट पे होता है ये? 3'। गप्पे मारने से पहले एक बार सोच के तो गप्पा मारो। कोडिंग चेन के 5' एंड पे प्रमोटर, बट टेम्पलेट के कौन से पॉइंट पे होता है? 3'। So first of all, sigma factor binds with RNA polymerase, and then RNA polymerase binds with the promoter at the 3' end of template. Then the helix opens up, the hydrogen bonds get broken up, the two polynucleotides chain separate, one is template, another one is coding strand. Template shall provide information, and as per that information, complementary nucleotides, ribonucleotides are arranged, joined by ester linkages, polynucleotide is synthesized. What shall be the polarity of that newly progressing transcript oblique RNA chain? यहां पे कौन सा एंड लिखे हम? ये एंड कौन सा? एग्जैक्टली ये 5' है तो दूसरा 3' की ओर चेन प्रोग्रेस कर रहा है. That is this mRNA. Remember always. So progression is always from 5' to 3'. Polarity of new chain is 5' to 3'. This will continue till the chain extended, reaching up to polymerase complex reaches up to dash terminator. And at which end of the coding strand the terminator is there? Three prime is the correct answer. What will help the RNA polymerase to get detached from the setup? First, Rho factor, absolutely right. So first, the nascent RNA detaches, subsequently detaches the RNA polymerase. But in this detachment of RNA polymerase from the helix, it is the it is the Rho factor that is necessary over there. Now, in this case of prokaryotes, while this is being translated, my mistake, transcribed, while this is being transcribed, the mRNA or RNA in a way, particularly mRNA, simultaneously it will undergo translation also. I had given two reasons for the same. Which were those two reasons? Why simultaneously the mRNA, before it is being transcribed, it would undergo translation. That is not the reason which I'm looking for. Understood its lifespan short, it has to do everything fast, but that's not the reason one is looking for. वो जो explanation है ना, exactly, Krisha. Post transcription changes are not required over there. Post transcription changes are not going to take place in prokaryote. That's the first one. What is prepared through transcription is mRNA. As it is, it can undergo translation straight away. And second, being a prokaryote, no distinct nucleus over there. So site compartment or site for the transcription and translation is same. These are the two main reasons over there. बोलिए कोई डाउट है यहाँ पे? Okay, it seems you have no doubts. Our next topic is transcription in eukaryotes. That's our next topic. Previous one was transcription in prokaryotes. Mind you, same RNA polymerase can prepare mRNAs. It can prepare different types of tRNAs, and it can prepare different types of rRNAs. Varieties of mRNA, tRNA and rRNA. तीनों में एक से ज्यादा कैटेगरीज होती है. So varieties of mRNAs, tRNAs and rRNAs. All are prepared by same RNA polymerase in case of prokaryotes. Whereas eukaryotes have three different types of RNA polymerase, one of them concerned with a particular set of RNAs formation, another one is concerned with the another set, and third one is concerned with the another set. So in a way, three different types of polymerases, each one catering a need of RNA preparation in a different way. Each one is able to prepare different types of RNAs. Have a look at it. Number one, RNA polymerase 1 category. RNA polymerase 1 category. It is concerned with the formation of rRNAs. उसमें भी 3 type, 28S, 18S, 5.8S. Here S stands for S stands for 28S type of RNA, 18S type of rRNA, 5.8S type of rRNA. So what do we by S over here? S stands for Swedberg unit, sedimentation coefficient. Tanvi was right. You understand that the particles such as ribosomes and their subunits and then RNAs, these smaller materials, the rate of their sedimentation is measured in terms of Swedberg units. So 28S type of rRNA, 18S type of rRNA, 5.8S type of rRNA. These are the different types of rRNAs prepared by the enzyme polymerase 1. RNA polymerase 1 is concerned with this activity. Have a look at the second one, RNA polymerase 2. It is the one which will prepare those hnRNAs. I'm sure you can recall in eukaryotic RNA, what is transcribed is always hnRNA. Later it is processed for removal of introns and joining the exons, all that activity which is called post-transcriptional activity. For those activities, which enzyme is required? Polymerase 2. Polymerase 2. Polymerase 3 is concerned with the tRNA formation, varieties of tRNA. Also one category of rRNA. 5S rRNA. 5.8S rRNA prepared by polymerase 1. 5S rRNA is prepared by polymerase 3. And the last one in that sequence, that is known as snRNA. That is known as snRNA. snRNA, popularly called as small nuclear RNA. Small nuclear RNA, snRNA. Location, it remains in nucleus. Function, it helps in RNA splicing. You will learn it in short. The introns will be spliced off. ऐसा सुना होगा. Their splicing is an automatic phenomenon. It is done with the help of snRNA. So its function is to carry out RNA splicing. It itself is a RNA version, snRNA. So this was about the detailed information on types of enzymes involved in this RNA formation process. चलिए, before we go to the next, just go through and let me know if there is any doubt. I'll wait for 10 seconds. 3 different types of tRNA polymerases. Three types of RNA polymerases. बोलिए, कोई डाउट है आपको? Now we can see the actual process of transcription in eukaryotes. What you can look at the screen, that is about transcription in eukaryotes, a diagram in that. Now my 2 to 3 questions. What is prepared as a transcript in eukaryote? What is that? It is known as what? Which type of RNA it is known as? hnRNA. Yes, it is called hnRNA. Heterogeneous nuclear RNA. It will undergo post-transcriptional changes. Change number 1. Basically, 3 changes will happen. Number 1, capping. Number 2, tailing. Number 2, tailing. And number 3, splicing. Capping, tailing, splicing. You see, 3 activities which are involved in the eukaryotic synthesis of RNA. Eukaryotic RNA synthesis requires 3 different activities. 1, capping. 2, tailing. 3, splicing. चलिए, first of all capping से start करते हैं. Let us understand the capping act. Very first thing, that capping can be done only at 5' end of the mRNA. This mRNA is progressing in this direction from 5' to 3'. So capping will be done in this mRNA, in this polynucleotide, at which end? 5' end. As a capping, what is inserted over there? As you can see, this specialized unusual nucleotide, which is called as methyl guanosinic triphosphate, GTP, guanosine triphosphate, GTP. ये G और ये 3 P, that is called GTP, guanosine triphosphate. Not a ordinary guanosine. Methyl guanosinic triphosphate is used for capping the mRNA, or this hnRNA, for capping the hnRNA. hnRNA का capping होता है. Tell me, at which end the hnRNA will be capped? 5' or 3'? hnRNA के 5' पे capping होता है. Which is the unusual first nucleotide for this hnRNA? Methyl guanosine triphosphate. Methylated GTP in a way. Once the 5' end of the hnRNA There this nucleotide is inserted. The enzyme concerned is the enzyme concerned in this capping, that is called as guanylyl transferase. Guanylyl transferase will transfer the cap, which is methylated guanosine triphosphate molecule, inserted at which end of the mRNA? 5' end of the mRNA. Simple as that. आगे जाते हैं. Tailing. What will happen once the hnRNA is released? Tailing will be done. What will be done in context of tailing? Tailing by the way कौन से end पे होगा? mRNA के कौन से end पे होना चाहिए? अगर capping was yes at 5', tailing is supposed to be at 3'. In this tailing, one unusual this kind of setup is created. After the tail where the hnRNA is over, a chain is prepared. Chain of unwanted adenylate residues. Adenylate residues means adenylic acid, means nucleotides of adenine. 200 to 300 such big chain of adenylate residues. So tailing is equal to adenylate residues 200 to 300 in number are added at 3' end in a template strand. This is called as tailing. एक था capping, एक था tailing. Capping में एक न्यूक्लियोटाइड इंसर्ट किया जाता है. यहाँ पे 200 to 300 guanylyl adenylate residues are added. 200 to 300 adenylate residues are added. जैसे ही चेन खत्म होती है A, C, G, T, C जो भी है वो कुछ, उसके बाद सिर्फ A like that. How many such residues? 200 to 300 residues are added in, and that is termed as tailing. It will be done at a 3' end of hnRNA. Of course tail last में आती है, तो ये last वाला process है. By and large ऐसा understand करना है. Capping हो गया, tailing हो गया. Now the mRNA. How the mRNA is prepared? C. The mRNA or hRNA which is available has got a cap of methyl guanosyl triphosphate at its 5' end, and it is having 100 to 200 residues, or rather 200 to 300 residues of this adenylate nucleotide AMP. Its chain worth 2 to 300 number of A, like that particular nucleotide in large number. Question is why capping and tailing? First of all, capping and tailing will ensure that no other unwanted RNA or DNA joins with this DNA having open end. So capping, tailing करने से उसके ends seal हो जाते हैं mRNA के. उसमें कोई न्यूक्लियोटाइड का unnecessarily add होना या delete होना वो minimize हो जाता है. That is the number 1 capping and tailing benefits. So that is the main benefit. No alteration, no addition or deletion of any nucleotide in the same. So that is the capping and tailing. Capping and tailing is also an indication that it will be now ready for the purpose of translation, the mRNA. कैसे होता है? The third important activity. Which is that third important activity other than capping and tailing in the RNA? Yeah, the splicing. Which parts you splice off? Introns or exons? Yes, introns are spliced off and leftover exons are joined with each other. You remember I told you that RNA has a capacity for its own splicing. मैंने कब बोला था? RNA वर्ल्ड टॉपिक में बोला था आपको कि RNA is capable of carrying out its own splicing. So here is that capacity one can see. So after capping and tailing the hnRNA, in that, as you can see, there is a series of introns and exons. Yellow color ones are which one? Exons. And this red ones are which one? Introns. As you can see, alternately arranged. You can also see that during the splicing, the introns, they will be making loop like structures. They may be making loop like structures, and these loops get spliced off from the hnRNA. Now what is left are only exons, and they are joined in their respective position, and here is this RNA ready, known as a messenger RNA, whose first nucleotide is guanyl triphosphate, methyl guanosine triphosphate, and whose last 2 to 300 nucleotides are adenine containing one, adenylate रेसिड्यूज, जिसको पॉली ए टेल भी कहते हैं, और प्रोसेस को कहते हैं पॉली एडिनाइलेशन प्रोसेस. Insertion of how many? 2 to 300 adenine containing nucleotides at this 3' end, that is called as the polyadenylation या फिर tailing process, poly A tailing process. And this is how the RNA is now actually known as messenger RNA. The whole stuff is now known as which one? Messenger RNA. And it is now ready for translation. इसके according से amino acid chain will be formed. बोलिए, कोई doubt? Have you understood this? चलिए, question number 1. Transcription in eukaryotes, when it occurs, which are the 3 processes needed in the same? Capping, tailing, and splicing. Absolutely right. Capping is done at which end of the hnRNA? 5'. In capping, which nucleotide is inserted at 5' end of the hnRNA? Methyl GTP. Fabulous. Very good answer. Methylated guanosine triphosphate. Second one. Tailing will be done at which end? 3'. In the tailing process, which is done through polyadenylation, which residues are added at the 3' end of this adenylate residues? Harshil, very good answer. How many of them are added over there approximately? Diksha Sevalia, correct. 200 to 300 of them. This insertion of capping and tailing ensures that no other nucleotide can join them. Their directions are also clear while translation. जहाँ पे 5 prime methylated GTP है, that means it is supposed to be the end, which is 5 prime. जहाँ पे tail है poly A tail, वो 3 prime है. तो राइबोसोम को भी कैप्चरिंग के लिए easy convenient रहता है. Most important part is the splicing, self splicing of RNA portions. Which parts are spliced off? Introns. Which ones are left behind? Which are important and coded information is there on them? Exons. And joining the exons, and it is now ready as the mRNA. Ready for translation, isn't it? This arrangement wherein the gene had alternately arranged information, utilizable information, which is transcribed as exons, and non-utilizable information, which is transcribed as introns. This type of genes are known as split genes. This arrangement is called as split gene arrangement. So this split gene arrangement represents probability of an ancient feature of genome. ये लगता है कि जो स्प्लिट जीन कंसेप्ट है यूकैरियोट्स का, जिसमें यूजफुल इंफॉर्मेशन के साथ ऑल्टरनेटली अरेंज यूजलेस इंफॉर्मेशन है, इस सेटअप का लेटेस्ट डेवलपमेंट नहीं हुआ है. ये एंशिएंट फीचर है. एंशिएंट फीचर मींस राइट फ्रॉम ओरिजिन. Just a minute, somebody is entering as iPhone. Khushali madam, do not give entry to someone coming as iPhone, of genome. Yeah, it represents the ancient feature of our genome, the split gene arrangement over there. The presence of introns is a reminiscence of antiquity. Antiquity का meaning क्या होता है? Antique चीज. Antique means बहुत ही पुरानी हो और उसकी, today it may not be in use. So people see it as a symbol of past. So it is antique information or antiquity, you can say, symbol of antiquity. So presence of introns is considered as reminiscence of antiquity. वो जो बचा कुचा रह गया है antique part of the genome, उसको represent करता है. Then the last is the process of splicing represents the dominance of RNA world. आपने देखा कि RNA ने अपने आप को स्प्लाइस कर दिया बिना कोई एक्स्ट्रा एंजाइम के. So it is an enzymatic catalytic act only, in simple terms. So that shows the dominance of RNA world. That shows the dominance of RNA world over there. Okay, how significant the RNA is. Did I complete that topic of RNA polymerase 1, 2, 3? हो गया ना हमारा? Yes. So now we have completed the transcription. 10 seconds given. If you have any question, you ask. I'm waiting for that. If you have no question, it's okay. If you want to revise, you can ask. You can ask for revision and question. If not, we can move to the next after break of 5 minutes. It seems you have no questions. No one wants the repetition. So we wait for 5 minutes for the break to be over, and then we will continue with the next topic. Okay, students. If you are returned back, we can start the work. Having completed the topic of transcription, particularly transcription in prokaryotes and eukaryotes separately, we have learned. Now, before going to the next major one, translation, one small topic which was left in between, named as condensation of DNA, packaging of DNA. It's called packaging of DNA. Some call it as the compaction of DNA. Some call it as the condensation of DNA. Meaning remains the same. The problem in the system, once you understand, then the things will be clear to you. You see, if this is the nucleus, and on other side we have a DNA. You all know that the mammalian cell DNA is very long. Do you know how much? We can say that 6 into 6, 10 raised to 9 base pair. That is the length of the mammalian genome. The DNA in the genome of mammals, let's say human, is this much long. Top of that, this many base pairs, 6.6 into 10 raised to 9 base pairs. And between any two base pairs, 0.34 into 10 raised to minus 9 meter. That is the distance between any two base pairs. If you multiply a 6.6 into this many base pairs and between each one this much distance, so the total length of the DNA will come to 2.2 meters. Yeah, Devanshi has worked out precisely 2.244 meters. The size of this nucleus, its diameter, it is 10 raised to minus 6 meter. It is 10 raised to minus 6 meter. The issue is, the complexity is that 2.2 meter long DNA in the form of 23 chromosomes. So 2.2 meter long DNA cut into 23 pieces, that is to be accommodated in the nucleus with the size 10 raised to minus 6 meter. 10 raised to minus 6 मीटर का डायमीटर वाले न्यूक्लियस में आपको 2.2 मीटर डीएनए को एकोमोडेट करना है. क्या करेंगे? समझ में आ रहा है आपको? चैलेंज. Are you realizing the challenge that we are talking about? इसको थोड़ा और सिंप्लीफाई करते हैं अंडरस्टैंड करने का. एक पतला सा थ्रेड है जिसकी लेंथ 2 meters है. I am sure you can approximately work out 2 meters. Okay. Your hand, if extended, it will be close to 1 meter. Almost. So ऐसा 2 meters का थ्रेड है. और आप इमेजिन करो कि उसको किसमें रखना है. एक कंपार्टमेंट जिसको कहते हैं न्यूक्लियस ऑफ द सेल. और वो देखने के लिए आप माइक्रोस्कोप का यूज करते हो. हैव यू एवर सीन द न्यूक्लियस अंडर द माइक्रोस्कोप? Cell nucleus under the microscope. You have seen, isn't it? Now, can you imagine जो नेकेड आई से दिखता नहीं है, जिसको देखने के लिए क्या यूज करना पड़ता है? माइक्रोस्कोप. उस कंपार्टमेंट में ये 2 मीटर का लेंथी डीएनए अगर अकोमोडेट करना है तो क्या कॉम्प्लिकेशन आएगा? वर्चुअली आउट ऑफ क्वेश्चन. डिफिकल्ट मोस्ट, चैलेंजिंग मोस्ट सिनारियो. कैसे होता है? Let us understand this. How many have understood the issue? What is the main problem? Why should the DNA be compacted or condensed, or packaging should be done for the DNA? How many have understood this thing? Only one student. 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, 7. भाई हितार्थ, अनम्यूट कर अपने आप को बापू. क्या नहीं पता चला? आवाज कट हो गई है भाई. ऐसा सुनाई दिया. I said that why should DNA be compacted? Why should DNA be condensed? Why should DNA be packaged? Answer is the compartment within the cell which is called nuclear compartment, where DNA is to be accommodated. Its size, the compartment size is 10 raised to minus 6 meter. वो उसकी size है. 0.00001 मीटर वो उसकी साइज है. ओके. फिर डीएनए की साइज क्या है? 2.2 मीटर्स. कैसे पता चला? हमें पता है कि ह्यूमन के डीएनए के 23 क्रोमोसोम्स को अगर ओपन अप करें तो इट इज गोइंग टू हैव अ 6.6 into 10 raised to 9 base pairs. You also know that between any two base pairs the distance is 3.4 angstrom. नहीं, 0.34 angstrom. ऐसा कुछ है ना? 34 angstrom में 10, तो या 3.4 angstrom is the distance between the two consecutive ones. इसका मीनिंग 0.34 into 10 raised to 9 meter, that is the distance between any two base pairs. अब इतनी बेस पेयर और हर एक दो बेस पेयर के बीच में इतना डिस्टेंस, उसको मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे तो वी विल रीच टू 2.2 मीटर लेंथ ऑफ आवर टोटल डीएनए इन आवर जीनोम. सो आपको 2.2 मीटर लेंथ का डीएनए एक ऐसे कंपार्टमेंट में रखना है जिसका डायमीटर है 0.00001 मीटर. कैसे करेंगे? ये चैलेंज है बेसिकली. हाँ, दोनों में कॉम्पैक्शन होता है, whether it's the prokaryotes or it is the eukaryotes, because in both of them the length of the DNA is much greater than the size of the cell as a compartment itself, and specifically nuclear as a specific part wherein the DNA is placed. So compared to that, the length of the DNA is much more. So how does the system work out? So in the case of bacterial cell, there is one region which is called as a nucleoid region without a definite boundary. In that there is a circular DNA which is organized in formation of loop-like structure. देखिए, इसको ओपन अप करेंगे लूप तो इससे भी बड़ा हो जाएगा. So it is condensed form of the DNA. उसको कंडेंस किया जाता है in the form of a loop. For condensing it, what is utilized? So special uh, positively charged proteins are employed. Positively charged proteins are employed. DNA carries which charge, positive or a negative? DNA is a charged molecule. Does it carry positive or negative charge on it? DNA as a molecule carries positive charge or a negative charge. Devanshi, unmute and justify your answer. Negative. DNA, whether inside the cell, outside the cell, inside the nucleus, outside the nucleus, it will have a negative charge. Exactly. Presence of phosphate group H3PO4 minus. वो एसिडिक ग्रुप है ना PO4, सो वो ऑलवेज नेगेटिव चार्ज कैरी करता है. सो द DNA or RNA always carries negative charge. If you see the structure of DNA or RNA, there are nucleotides. Nucleotides have a phosphate group. Phosphate group carries, it's an anionic group, it carries negative charge, and that's the reason why DNA is supposed to have a negative charge. If you bring two parts of DNA together while folding it, while compacting it, while packaging it, while condensing it, what will happen if both are negative charged parts coming close to each other? What will take place over there? Repulsion. Exactly. There will be a repulsion over there. But instead of that, if there is something which is positive, let's say certain ions or certain proteins themselves carrying positive charge, if they are brought in between, then both these negatively charged parts of the DNA will easily come close to each other, because in between there is a positive charged component, the proteins carrying positive charge. So do you realize the role of positively charged proteins in compaction of DNA in case of prokaryotes? Only 2 years. 4. जैसे मुझ पे उपकार कर रहे हो ऐसे ही यस लिखते हो आप लोग तो बाय गॉड. So loops of DNA are created to reduce the length of the DNA and accommodate it into the nucleoid region of the prokaryote. But while looping this DNA, because DNA carries negative charge and two parts of the DNA, negative, negative, there will be a repulsion. To avoid that, between these two loopy, regions, two regions in the loop for this DNA molecule with the same charge, negative, in between the positively charged proteins are kept, which will hold them in their position and maintain that loop. That was about the prokaryotes. Our next topic in the same is packaging of the DNA in eukaryotes. आपको पता है कि यूकैरियोट्स में डीएनए को पैकेज करके हाईएस्ट कॉम्पैक्ट बॉडी के फॉर्म में प्रिपेयर किया जाता है, which is termed as chromosome. At which stage in the life cycle of a cell the condensation of the DNA is maximum? Tell me, at which stage of the life cycle? Arshil, very close but not correct. Devanshi, you are even further closer to that, even than what he was there, Harshil was there. अगर आपको किसी का क्रोमोसोम, मोस्ट कंडेंस्ड क्रोमोसोम को स्टडी करना है, जैसे कैरियोटाइप में किया था, so what is the stage that you will prefer? Krisha is correct, but she is asking a question, so I can't say she was correct. Ayushisha is finally correct. Metaphase is the one. The maximum condensation is at metaphase. Always remember. अच्छा, आपने ये भी लर्न किया होगा कि while the cell is in interphase, from that it will enter into cell division, and from cell division it will go back to interphase. So while it is in interphase, its DNA is in the form of chromatin, whereas while the cell is in the division mode, particularly metaphase, it will be in the form of chromosome. आपने ऐसा सुना है क्या? Imagine if cell is remaining as chromatin, so it cannot divide its DNA into two equal halves at the time of division. So when it enters in the cell division, it starts condensation, which starts in prophase, which is fully completed in metaphase beginning. फिर आपको क्वेश्चन होगा कि पूरी लाइफ वो क्रोमोसोम जैसा क्यों नहीं रहता है, कंडेंस्ड, वापस क्यों क्रोमैटिन बन जाता है इंटरफेज में? In interphase, the genes, the DNA will have to express itself. For that, compact condensed version is not suitable. That's the reason why it has to go back to chromatin state. How many are clear with this concept? Is that clear to all? अगर किसी को डाउट है तो अभी पूछ लो, वरना आगे पता नहीं चलेगा. Well, if you are not asking, you are at loss, not me. I am not at loss in this matter. अच्छा, आगे जाते हैं, आपको कोई डाउट नहीं है. Look, DNA can never remain as a DNA in the cell in any stage of life cycle. Whether it is interphase or a cell division, कहीं पे भी DNA तो DNA होता ही नहीं. या तो होता है वो कौन से स्टेज में? क्रोमैटिन में, या तो फिर किस में कन्वर्ट हो जाता है? क्रोमोसोम में. This is at the interphase and this is at the cell division. So you never see the DNA as a pure DNA in any cell at any stage of life. How many are clear with this concept? क्रोमैटिन होता है, उसी फॉर्म में वो रेप्लिकेट करके फिर बाद में डिवीजन टाइम पे कंडेंस हो जाता है, और डिवीजन खत्म करने के बाद वो कंडेंस्ड फॉर्म क्रोमोसोम से वापस डीकंडेंस होके क्रोमैटिन रहता है. It never go to the DNA level ever, never ever. How many not clear with this? चलो, एक भी नहीं, आगे जाते हैं. तो फिर ये क्रोमैटिन होता क्या है? तो डीएनए का वो जो अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड फॉर्म था ना, रादर देन क्रोमोसोम व्हिच इज अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड, the one which is primarily having DNA, but parallelly it will have a some amount of RNA in it and some proteins which includes histone proteins and also some non-histone proteins. So the two formats of proteins, non-histone and histone proteins, along with the two types of nucleic acids, DNA and RNA, इसमें सबसे ज्यादा important है हमारा DNA and histone proteins. So together, four of these components together make what is called as chromatin. How many have understood what is a chromatin? These DNA, when it starts condensation, it forms nucleosomes, which forms solenoid structure, which actually forms chromatin. फिर ये क्रोमैटिन में से क्रोमैटिड्स फॉर्म होते हैं और इस क्रोमैटिड्स में से क्या फॉर्म होता है? क्रोमोसोम्स. आप इमेजिन करो कि डीएनए जब भी रेप्लिकेट होता है एस स्टेज में विद इन द सेल साइकिल, immediately nucleosomal organization and further solenoid organization अचीव करके वो किस स्टेज में चला जाएगा? क्रोमैटिन. फिर बाकी का एस, फिर कौन सा स्टेज? बाकी का कौन सा स्टेज? G2, and then in prophase it will start condensing from chromatin to chromosome. जैसे ही सेल डिवीजन खत्म हुआ, जीवन स्टार्ट हुआ, क्रोमोसोम में से वो वापस क्रोमैटिन में चला जाएगा. So these are the stages in the condensation of chromosome. I'm going to explain to you first how DNA, which is formed at the time of S phase, synthesis phase, immediately how it gets converted into the condensed structures called as nucleosomes. Nucleosome is the next topic, how the nucleosome is formed. To understand nucleosome, first you need to understand the fact about histone proteins. See, आप imagine करो that you just got to imagine that DNA replication हुआ and the newly formed DNA is prepared. The newly formed naked DNA. The only stage while it is being formed during that DNA replication, which we learned na last to last lecture. So while that DNA is replicating itself, that's the only point at which DNA can remain naked like this. Otherwise, always entwined around histones. अच्छा, हिस्टोन के कितने कैटेगरीज होते हैं? As such, histone has 5 categories: H2A, H2B, H3, and H4. These are the 4 categories. And in addition to this all, there is something called H1 category of histone. A special type of proteins, these histones are special type of proteins. The 2 particular amino acids, mainly such as lysine, and another one that is termed as arginine. Both are basic amino acids, alkaline amino acids. In large quantities, they are available. They are available in large quantities in histone as a protein. So histone as a protein is by nature alkaline, highly alkaline, or you may call it as the basic. अब बेसिक है, अल्कलाइन है, तो कौन सा चार्ज कैरी करेगा हिस्टोन प्रोटीन? आप लोग डूबे हो। अगर डीएनए एसिडिक है and you know that acids donate H plus and acquire negative charge. COOH होता है तो H plus डोनेट करके COO नेगेटिव में चला जाता है। और आपको पता है कि जो अल्कलीज या बेसिस होते हैं जैसे NH2 है तो NH3 प्लस बन जाता है, वो एक H plus को एक्वायर कर लेता है। So it is basically positive in nature. Alkaline stuff are positive in nature on ionization. So when I said that DNA is acidic because of phosphate group, and because it is acidic, it acquires negative charge. So on the other hand, when I say that histones are alkaline or basic because of lysine and arginine amino acid in large quantities. So you should understand that alkaline or basic stuffs are having positive charge. So logic, you understand that you want to entwine the DNA, you want to entwine the DNA around the histones. You want to entwine the DNA around the histones. Now, because histones themselves carry positive charge, and this DNA is carrying which charge? Negative charge. So there shall be no repulsion over there. There shall be acceptance of DNA around these histones. So that is the logic of bringing histones in the picture. You saw that in prokaryotes, instead of histones, there were also positive proteins, but just that they were not histones. Whereas in eukaryotes, at the time of compaction, it is the histones, but are positively charged. Histone, specialized names are there. How this entwining of DNA around the histones takes place. Have a look at this one. Going back to this one. Look, as you can see, two molecules of H2A, two molecules of H2B, two molecules of H3, two molecules of H4. Total how many pieces of different histones? 8. Cluster of 8. Cluster of 8 histones. Pair of H2A, pair of H2B, pair of H3 and pair of H4. Assemble in this manner. And together what they constitute is termed as histone octamer. Histone octamer. These are the core proteins, core histones. H1 is not a core histone. H2A, H2B, H3, H4 are core histones. Two members of each core histone. So total 8. Their ball. And that is the ball which is called as histone octamer. This histone octamer is entwined by DNA. DNA entwines around it. Like this. DNA entwines around this histone. The length of this DNA, if you see, it is almost 147, 46 base pairs, that much long DNA. So the DNA which is around this histone, core histone stuff, उसकी लेंथ होती है 146 बेस पेयर्स ओवर देयर। अच्छा, जैसे ही ये डीएनए यहाँ पे फिट हो जाता है, H1 का, हिस्टोन का एक मॉलिक्यूल, सिंगल मॉलिक्यूल ऑफ H1 attaches to the octamer and DNA and sealing this DNA entwining around this histone core octamer, core histone octamer. ऐसा दिखेगा आपको. I'll show you. Can you all see the H1's role in this matter? Core histones, two molecules of each one, H2A, H2B, H3, H4, ये सब जो है हर एक के 2 मॉलिक्यूल्स क्या बनता है इससे? व्हाट इज बीन प्रिपेयर्ड बाय दिस 8 मॉलिक्यूल्स? हिस्टोन octamer, क्रीशा. Then octamer is enwrapped by DNA with how much length? 147 base pair. And then it is sealed by which molecule? H1. जैसे ये रेडी हो गया, this is called as nucleosome. The whole stuff is called as nucleosome. Histone octamer plus H1 plus 147 base pair long core DNA. इसको कौन सा DNA कहते हैं? Core DNA. मिलके क्या बनाया? न्यूक्लियोसोम. How many are clear with this? अच्छा, आपको एक चीज ऑब्जर्व करना है पिक में. ऑफ कोर्स octamer H1 को छोड़ के H2, H2B, H3, H4, 2 molecules of each, octamer created. DNA, what should I call this DNA as? Core DNA. With how much length over there? 147 base pair. Can you tell me the DNA that is entwining around the histone octamer, is it taking complete 2 turns or not? Complete 2 turns or not? जैसे हिस्टोन का गोला है octamer, so is it taking 2 complete turns over there or not? No, it doesn't. आप केयरफुली ऑब्जर्व करो, अगर एक पॉइंट अटैचमेंट का है, वहां से 1 और वहां से 2, तो इट इज टेकिंग 1.8 टर्न अराउंड octamer. How much? 1.8 turn. Excuse me. Are you clear with this? 1.8 टर्न. देखिए, जैसे ये हिस्टोन है, it will skip this. Instead of completing the entire second turn, थोड़े पॉइंट पे जाके उसको छोड़ देता है. You understand? Almost 2 turns, but not complete 2 turns, and it will pass over that ball and move to the another one. Now, in this much DNA, which is around the histone ball, it is called core DNA, and its length is how much? 147 base pair. Am I right? 146 है, किसी किसी में 147 लिखा है, किसी में 146 लेके जाते हैं. And this DNA between two nucleosomes, it is called as linker DNA. That is termed as linker DNA. और ये linker DNA का लेंथ होता है 54 बेस पेयर. सो टोटल मिलके कितना बेस पेयर हुआ? कोर डीएनए का 146 और लिंकर का 54. टोटल कितना हुआ? 200 बेस पेयर. लेंथ कितना हो गया? ये कितना डीएनए लेंथ हो गया है? लेंथ वाइज 34 एंगस्ट्रम में 10 बीपी है, तो आपको पता है ना कितने एंगस्ट्रम में लेंथ होगा ये? कमाल हो यार आप लोग. हाँ, अवार्ड विनर हो. 680 angstrom. Do you remember one MCQ was given to you? One question, what problem was given to you for solving? The one in which (20 helix, 680 angstrom, 200 base pair, 400 bases, 120 adenine, 120 thymine, 80 guanine cytosine, number of bonds were asked. Do you remember that? बोलो. मेरे पास वर्ड्स नहीं है आपको डिस्क्राइब करने के लिए. See, DNA will go in this manner, entwining around this histone octamers, making what is called as nucleosomes formation. चलिए, ये सब क्या है? थोड़ा फास्ट रिप्लाई दो, मुझे वाइंड अप करना है रे. हिस्टोन्स है, कोर हिस्टोन्स वो लिखना चाहिए. H2, H2B, H3, H4 आर कोर हिस्टोन्स. ये क्या है? हिस्टोन ऑक्टामर है, हिस्टोन ऑक्टामर है. इस डीएनए को क्या नेम देते हैं? 146 बेस पेयर लॉन्ग डीएनए को क्या नेम देते हैं? कोर डीएनए. What do you call when this core DNA is entwining the histone octamers with 1.8 time rotation around each ball. What do you call it as? Nucleosomes. That is termed as nucleosomes. And this DNA between any two adjacent nearby nucleosomes is known as which DNA? Linker DNA. How much is the length of the linker DNA? 54 base pairs. And when do you consider that a nucleosome is formed? When histone octamer enwrapped by core DNA with 1.8 rotation and sealed by exactly H1. That is the time we consider that the packaging, nucleosomal level packaging is accomplished. बोलिए, क्लियर है ये कंसेप्ट यहाँ तक? I could not complete the topic of packaging. What we have seen is just this much.